you're a different team in February from what you're playing with in the finals?
Well, it's definitely not the most comfortable thing, to start a team from scratch because the most important is health because you need to build chemistry so fast and camaraderie so fast on the floor. And if you have multiple injuries or you have multiple bodies out, when you're starting fresh, it's too hard, and I think, with this season, that's what you kind of saw. The difference between this season and the difference between my first year in Miami, we didn't have many injuries at all. We were definitely fresh together, but myself and D. Wade and Bosh, UD, Mike Miller had a few injuries, but Chalmers was available. And pretty much our team, we were pretty solid as far as not being injury prone. Obviously, my first year back here, we were headed in the right direction, and then we hit the postseason, and Kev has a separated shoulder with the tie with Olenek, and then Kyrie, goes down in the first or second possession in overtime of game one in the finals. So, I mean, that's just huge. So, being a part of the start fresh mode is something that you definitely don't want to be a part of. It has its pros and it definitely has its cons.
Jason up here.
When you tell Rachel you came back as an unfinished business, does one championship finish that business?
I mean, that's a trick question at the end of the day, and I'm not falling for that.
It's not a trick.
No, yes, it is. I mean, for me, I still have so much to give to the game, and like I said, when you have a goal and you're able to accomplish that goal, it actually, for me personally, made me even more hungry to continue to try to win championships, and I still want to be in championship mode, and I think I've showed this year why I will still continue to be in championship mode.
And when you came back in 14 and we did the thing at InfoCision, understanding things can change in 4 years, but you said you don't plan on going anywhere, you can't go through this again. What did you mean by that, and what's this process like, this free agency process of having to make a decision? Can you just take us through, shed some light on what that process is like?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to take you throughout the whole process. That's not fun. But at the end of the day, like I said, when I decide what I'm going to do with my future, my family and the folks that have been with me for the last 20 years pretty much will have a say-so. And then it ultimately will come down to me, so see what happens.
Howard standing on the left.
Howard, back to Bleacher Report. LeBron, when you made the move in 2010, obviously you had certain goals and things in mind that made you, pushed you toward that decision. Similar 2014, are the decisions or the thought process, priorities different at age 33, 15 years in than they would have been at those other junctures?
No, I don't think so. To be able to, I made the move in 2010 to be able to play with talented players, cerebral players, that you could see things that happen before they happen on the floor, and your teammate can do the same. Throughout the course of a season, throughout the course of a game, throughout the course of a playoffs, throughout the course of the finals. So when you feel like when you feel like you're really good at your craft, I think it's always great to be able to be around other great minds as well, and other great ball players in my instance, and other great, I think studies of the game itself. So that's never changed. Even when I came here, in 14, I want to try to surround myself and surround this franchise with, great minds and guys that actually think outside the box of the game and not just go out and play it.
Mark, last one in the back left.
Hi, New York Times. LeBron, whatever you decide this summer, how likely is it that down the road you would want to actually own the Cavs and be the guy in charge here?
Well, that top athlete money per year thing came out last week, and I was 6. So I'm in no way, shape, and form putting myself in a position right now to own a team. I think Floyd was one at like 252. Obviously I don't have a boxing hand. So boxing won't be the sport I'll be going to. I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, Mark, I think for me, staying around the game, being around the game, will be something I'll probably do for the rest of my life. Either, while I'm playing for this, this later stage of my career, advising, people in the NBA, whatever the case may be. But I got two boys that play the game as well, so I don't know. I can't predict the future on ownership and things of that nature, but I have a lot of knowledge of the game. I understand talent. I know talent. But I know the right questions to ask certain guys and see if they're smart enough to actually think the game as well. So we'll see what happens.